Hi, I'm so glad that you've decided to learn more about C.O.R.E and your primary temperament. Over the next few minutes, I hope to help you understand a few really important things about the strengths and challenges of being an O. From your results, you've already learned that your primary motivation is having an enjoyable emotional environment. You are motivated to be happy and to be having fun. This may not come as a surprise to you, but it does make you very unique. I'm a primary O myself, and I don't know how many times during my now 50 years that my mom has asked me when I was going to grow up. I always respond with the same thing, that if growing up means not having fun anymore, then I'm never going to do it. You might not necessarily recognize that your drive for enjoyment is actually part of your temperament. As an O, there are some very predictable challenges that you've probably also noticed in your life, but you may also not have known that they were part of your temperament as well, and that other O's experience the same things. I want to talk about a couple of these and to help you also see how some of the predictable strengths of your O temperament can be used to help you healthfully manage these challenges. The drive to be enjoying yourself all of the time actually leads to one of the most predictable challenges for the O brain. It can be very difficult for O's to follow through with things. It doesn't matter if it's the plot in a book, how to build a piece of furniture, how to program a computer, or whatever else might catch your interest. The fun part for the O is figuring out whatever the challenge might be. Unfortunately, once an O has figured out whatever it is, they usually lose interest in what come to feel like the boring details and hassle of finishing whatever they were working on. As a result, O's usually end up with a stack of half-read books, half-completed projects, and lots of purchased supplies for all of the great ideas they enjoyed figuring out. This is an almost constant source of frustration for my wife, who is an R. You'll find out in the next training that I hope you'll attend what motivates R's and what drives the brains of the other temperament types. For now, suffice it to say that she gets frustrated with how hard it can be for me to finish projects. Right now, I have two half-finished really cool fountains that I'm building in our backyard and one chair I'm fixing in our garage. A second very predictable challenge for O's is an aversion to planning. O's are the only one of the core temperaments that live in the present. Combine that with the fact that they want to make sure they aren't limiting any potential for future fun, and it is usually very hard for O's to plan. You don't know what you're going to feel like doing next Christmas, or for next summer's vacation. You might not even know what you'll feel like doing this Friday, or even what will sound good for dinner tonight. O's don't want to commit to something now, and then let someone down if they don't feel like doing whatever it is when the time comes. Nor do they want to miss out on something that might come up that they would rather do. There are many predictable aspects of the O temperament that influence how challenging it is for O's to plan. It is really difficult and frustrating for non-O's, but it can also be extremely frustrating for you as an O. How difficult it can be to plan can honestly feel really ridiculous. I want you to stop and think for a moment if you've noticed these challenges in your life. If you have, are you aware that they are because of your temperament, and that is part of you that doesn't change? Well, welcome to a little deeper insight into your core. Let's talk for a few minutes about what makes core unique from any other assessment that you've taken. Have you sometimes been puzzled about why the things that motivate you? Or why the things that pull you in, that drive you? Have you ever tried to figure out why you were passionate about totally different things from somebody else? The core temperament model has been created to answer these, as well as many other important questions. Temperament is a huge part of the answer about what makes you unique and what is different about how your brain works compared to other people. One of the biggest challenges and most important quests in life is truly learning to understand yourself. Many, if not most of us, spend the vast majority of our lives misunderstanding and devaluing who we are and what makes us unique and special. Each one of us comes into life with an unchangeable temperament. That's right. This is one of the most important things that I really want you to understand. Research has consistently shown for decades that you cannot change your temperament. So it seems pretty important to understand what temperament is and what you can and what you can't change about your personality. Temperament is a set of personality traits that determines the way we interact with and react to the world. It's the innate part within each of us that forms the underlying reasons behind why we do the things that we do and why we don't do the things that we don't do. This is one of the things that you will only get here. It's what makes this model different from any other assessment out there. It's also why temperament, in many ways, is actually more helpful to understand than just personality. C.O.R.E doesn't just help you identify some interesting aspects of your personality. C.O.R.E helps you identify your temperament. By understanding that, you can then focus your efforts on improving things in your life and relationships that you can do something about, so that you can really begin to thrive and stop beating yourself up about the things that will never change. Your temperament and resulting personality are not broken. I've developed this model to help you really be able to understand your temperament and personality, and to help you understand the important people around you. The fact is that our brains work differently depending on our core temperament. Each type is literally motivated by different things. As you are better able to understand the why behind the behavior, feelings, and thoughts of your loved ones and others with whom you interact, you will also be able to connect on deeper and more meaningful levels. The hurt feelings, misunderstandings, distance, and the amount of conflict in your relationships will also decrease. There's been a lot written and discussed about the importance of understanding your why. That if you can just plug into a powerful enough why, then you can unleash your potential. Well, my research indicates that the why is actually innately driven by your temperament. That seems to be one of the aspects of temperament that is most stable. Each temperament style is motivated by different whys. By learning about what naturally motivates you to do the things that you do, and how that leads to unique and important contributions that you have the ability to bring to those around you, you can stop working against yourself and begin to really embrace who you are. I believe a key part of becoming healthy and happy lies in understanding who you are, the natural strengths and challenges that come with that, then learning how to fix the unhealthy or dysfunctional beliefs and wiring that is in the way of being able to appreciate, hone, and magnify your natural strengths rather than distorting them. Exactly how to do that rewiring is something that you'll learn in our Healthy and Happy coaching program. We live in a society where certain personality traits or characteristics are promoted as the way to be, especially in a lot of the self-help literature. We're bombarded with messages communicating that there is a way to be, act, or look in order to be successful, beautiful, liked, happy. That is simply not true. There are certainly temperament types and personality traits that are better fits than others for given things. There are certain careers that line up really well with a given temperament type. No one temperament type is better than any other, nor are any of them broken. If you're going to be healthy and feel good about yourself, then you've got to learn how to be a healthy you. I have a question for you. Now that you understand that some of the challenges that you face are related to your temperament, do you think that's helpful to know? Does it make any difference? Hopefully your wheels are starting to turn. It is at least equally as important to understand that there are very wonderful and predictable strengths that you uniquely possess as an O also. In future trainings, we really delve into the strengths of your temperament, but here I want to talk about two that I would really like to highlight. First, as an O, you possess a very unique and important strength of being willing to prioritize fun. Some of the other temperaments have a difficult time allowing themselves to have fun, and they will only do it if everything else that is really important is already done. Well, research shows that this leads to many of the emotional and physical problems that plague us today. You, on the other hand, have an innate drive and willingness to prioritize, incorporate enjoyable things into your life and relationships. Your O friends are the ones that you can consistently call at the last minute to go catch a movie, play some pickleball, or go on a vacation. If there is the potential for fun, O's will usually do all they can to accommodate the opportunity. Most O's don't recognize that their willingness to have fun is a unique and important quality. What is more, as long as an O is having fun, follow-through is no longer a problem. An O will go and go and go as long as they are enjoying what they're doing. The second strength that I want to highlight for you as an O is what the O in C.O.R.E stands for, optimism. O's have a true gift of seeing the possibility in people and situations. O's naturally look at almost anything and not only see what could be, but also sincerely believe that that is possible. As a result, O's instill a great deal of hope into society. People tend to naturally be drawn to O's when they are feeling down or when they feel stuck. Many O's become therapists, clergy, bartenders, and other careers where people tend to look for some optimism and hope. Some of the people that know me best have stopped asking me for movie or restaurant recommendations because I tend to like most things and to give rather glowing reviews. Again, you might not recognize that your optimism is part of your temperament, and that other people's brains don't necessarily work the same way. Now that we've talked about a couple of the challenges that you likely deal with as an O and a couple of your unique strengths, I want to give you a hack or two for the predictable challenges that we've talked about. I also want to show you how some of your strengths can be utilized to effectively manage these very same challenges. A really good tool to use to help you follow through better is to tap into your strength of being willing and able to prioritize fun. An extremely effective tool to help you follow through with something that is important and or that you really want to do is to figure out a way to make it more enjoyable. For example, if you're having a hard time being consistent in exercising, find ways to make it more fun. Find a buddy to exercise with. Join a league or take classes so that all you have to do is show up and the rest is done for you. Add lots of variety so that you don't get bored doing the same things every day. I exercise 5 to 6 days a week and have since I was about 15. I've consistently done that through 10 years of college, 5 kids, 4 businesses, and a handful of pretty big tragedies in my life. And I'm a very dominant primary O. I use all the techniques that I mentioned to keep me in the game. I go to 3 HIIT classes a week where I see the same friends and have great instructors to tell me what to do to get a great workout every time. I play in 1 to 2 pickleball leagues at any given time. I go on 1 road ride or do a spin class depending on the weather. And I normally go on a mountain bike ride on Saturdays because they're super fun. And I do all of that I can do with someone I like to spend time with. Another useful skill to help you follow through is to only touch something once. Almost every time an O says they will do something later never quite seems to come. So when you get undressed, put the clothes right into the hamper. Finish eating, take plates right to the dishwasher. Open a bill, pay it right then. Don't open it until you're in a position to take action on it. I think about this every time I come back from a trip. One of 2 things inevitably happens. I either immediately unload my suitcase and put everything away, or my suitcase sits at the end of my bed for weeks. I also want to give you a little bonus tool to help you practice this. Please take a minute to write down something that you really want to be doing, but that you're having a hard time following through on. Then, write down 3 to 5 things that you could do to make whatever it is more enjoyable to do. Now, pick one of those things and do something about it right now. If it's sending a text to invite someone to walk with you tomorrow morning, send the text now. If it's signing up for an art class you wanted to take, look up when and where it is right now and register. With this intervention, you are using your natural strengths to prioritize fun and to see how to make something possible to healthfully manage this predictable challenge. Okay, now for a hack for the predictable challenge of having a hard time planning. One of the best tools to use to help you plan better is to partner with somebody who is good at it. And here's a little hint. Any of the other temperaments are naturally better at planning than O's are. So, find someone you trust and let them hold you accountable to plan. Set up a time each week to have a planning meeting. Sundays tend to be great days to do this since they're usually a little less busy and they mark the start of the week. Here's a simple week-at-a-glance calendar that you can use. I suggest blocking out things that you want to prioritize at the start of the week. You can also use this to help you follow through on things by making sure to plan in fun and enjoyable activities either before or after things that are unpleasant. You can even use a fun treat or activity to reward yourself for finishing something that you were avoiding. These tips and tools are good ways to use both your creative ability to figure out how to make something work and your willingness to make sure to include fun in your routine. You cannot change the tendency you have as an O for these, or frankly for several other predictable challenges that arise from your O-ness. Each and every temperament has things that very naturally align with what is healthy, and things that are naturally very incongruent with healthy. You cannot just say, oh well, I can't do that because of my temperament. If you want healthy outcomes, you have to do the things that produce those outcomes, regardless of whether or not they align well with your temperament. This is not a choice, and by gaining a deeper and more accurate understanding of this, you can begin to better capitalize on your strengths. You can understand that not everyone thinks, feels, and behaves the same way, or for the same reasons that you do. It's my hope that understanding your core temperament will empower you to embrace who you are, to stop wishing that you were different, and to more effectively bring you to the table in your life and relationships. So, when the way that your brain naturally works is in the way of something that you need to do in order to be healthy and happy, you can use a skill, a process, or a partnership to help you do the healthy thing that doesn't come naturally to you. We've only had time to touch on a couple of the many strengths, challenges, and coping strategies for UOs. We have lots and lots more resources to help you learn how to become a healthier and happier O. If you take advantage of the resources we have, I will help you learn how to truly improve nearly every aspect of your life, relationships, and business without needing to change who you are. You really are the secret ingredient to your success. And we have the information and tools to help you unlock the innate core potential that you have. So if you're ready to continue your journey to become a healthier and happier O, please join us for our next core training. In this hour-and-a-half training, you're going to come away with a much deeper understanding of yourself as you learn much more about, first, the things that you can and can't change about your personality. Second, your core motivators and exactly how those look in your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Specifically, the different variables that show up in your life because you are motivated by fun, you live in the present, your love of people, and your natural optimism. Third, you'll learn the unique contributions that O's make to society. And fourth, you're also going to begin to look under the hood of the other core temperaments as you learn these priceless aspects of how their brains work and what is unalterably different about how your brain works compared to other people. This information alone will permanently change the way that you parent and interact with your family and friends. The new knowledge, insight, and tools you acquire are going to dramatically clear up so many of the misunderstandings you have inside and help you stop devaluing what makes you unique and special. So click on the link below to join us for our next class.